Hi everyone, it's me again, your old pal Ashley, here to talk about Menace the Menace because I can't find anyone else who does. Menace is the longtime cover star of the Beano, a British comic that started back in 1938 and, as of today, has over 4,000 issues. Anyone who has ever collected these comics has hundreds of them in their attic from the time they were in deep, myself included, and I also happen to collect a lot of special edition Beanos I own into one handy dandy binder. And today we will have a look at an actual storyline they ran when I had just started collecting. The thing with the Beano is, it's not a long-term story-driven series like USA superhero comics. They are designed to be picked up and read by kids at any time. The comic has several characters that happen to be in the Beano's case, mostly thugs and brats. That was the appeal to me and a lot of kids when discovering the Beano. It was this colourful fun book of kids behaving badly, and the best brat was an Asbo waiting to happen, Menace the Menace. Every week we would get a Dennis and Gnasher cover and then 2 pages of him harassing his neighbours or the other denizens of Beanotown, with the usual ending being some sort of comeuppance. I was about 5 comics in when I started reading at 7 and I understood the formula. Every comic was a one-off, but in issue number 2925 something strange happened, something pretty intriguing for old young Ashley, and it all starts here in this issue. This cover is one of my favourites. It's simple, just floating heads, but I love the look of it. The bright jaggy action colours surrounding Dennis and Gnasher, with his traditional victims staring daggers, bullets and grenades at the delinquent duo. I really like how the policeman Sergeant Slipper is implied to literally want to shoot Dennis. And you know what? I don't blame him, but I don't think you could get away with doing that today, unfortunately. Dennis here looks great, with the distinctive way they used to draw him with a big smile coming out each side of his eyes. Gnasher here also looks pretty rad, talking to the reader, letting us know to read on for a big surprise. On to the actual comic, and I just stop and say just how much I love the artwork. I know I am biased because this was when I was reading and collecting the Beano, but to me this is the best the art has ever been. It has its own unique style, but isn't too British. It feels its very own thing, and it isn't as rough as the 80s and earlier art, nor is it as clean or as bland as the current run. But again, that might just be my nostalgia talking. The backgrounds are simple enough, but look good and do their job helping the characters jump off the page. Dennis's trademark jumper in particular really pops out at the reader. The comic premise is like pretty much every Dennis strip. He goes about messing with people because messing with people is cool. We see Dennis and Gnasher hopping along when they notice the Colonel is shouting at a pineapple to get a haircut. He decides it would be super fun to give the Colonel some PTSD war flashbacks by firing some rotten cabbages at him from makeshift cannons. Got to give Dennis some credit here. Him using pipes and his pogo stick was some genius ingenuity. He is like a little monster MacGyver. The little hooligans laugh as Colonel promises to rat them out to their dad. Next up is Sergeant Slipper, who has clearly gone mad with power as he finds a small child for standing by a double yellow line. Dennis, as a champion of little kids, stands up to this crooked cop shaking down a little girl by having Gnasher somehow lick away the dry paint. The sergeant is flabbergasted when he sees the lines have been stolen, but luckily the real hero Walter comes to the rescue. Walter bravely, knowing full well Dennis will bash him good for this, reveals the diabolical subterfuge of the law was committed by none other than Dennis and his mangy little mutt. The cowardly criminals then run away as Slipper vows to let his father know of his delinquency. We cut to a glum Dennis walking home and we see thoughts of what he thinks his punishment will be. Maybe it'll be no more pocket money, or perhaps they'll comically ban the TV by boarding up the screen and surrounding it with barbed wire, or maybe being sent to his amazing bed hungry. How cute is this Dennis branded bed, by the way? Personally, I'm rooting for corporal punishment. Bring the boot cannon back. Boots to asses, baby. That'll learn them. Dennis arrives home to see his arch enemy squealing to his dad of all of the shenanigans the young upstart has been up to. The Colonel asks Dad what he has to say to his ruffian son. Oh, Dad is his official name, by the way. It's a British thing. Well, shockingly, Dad says not to worry, just a classic case of boys will be boys. He then very Britishly prances away, happily whistling, leaving Dennis and the others in shock. The comic ends with a little black box asking, can we guess what is going on? I had no idea. 7-year-old Ash wasn't really sure what was happening and had to wait another week, which, when you were 7, is a very long time. Cut to issue number 2926. We see Dennis rocking out with the lads, Pieface and Curly. I must have read this comic a lot because my issue cover is a mess. I always know which ones I really liked by the bad cover condition. By this stage as well, I noticed some Beanos came with free goodies, which would be poorly taped to the cover. Also, it was not 45p, it was like over £1 and something, which means another like label thing stuck on it, which also damaged the cover when you took them off. God, it drove me insane. Well, anyways, let's move on. Like Dennis and Pieface, I'm ready to rock, but unfortunately, Dad is very not ready to rock as he throws a blanket on the young busted cover band. He tells him to keep it down as Mom is feeling poorly. Look how angry Pieface is, he's ready to curb stomp some fools. Dad asks Dennis to help him tidy up, and he offers to do some hoovering. Gnasher the super dog, however, turns off the hoover because it makes too much noise. So they decide to have Rasher, Dennis's pet pig, suck up all of the dirt and dust. I'm sure that's a good thing to do to your pet pig, right? Just make him eat dirt. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Let's do that. He also decides to hoover inside the fridge. Seriously, Dennis, what are you thinking here? Dad freaks out and causes food to fall everywhere, including all over Dennis's clothes. Dad pulls the dirty clothes off Dennis to put in the wash, but ignores his son when Dennis tries to warn him about fizzy sweets in his pocket. Being a British farce, this obviously blows up the washer just as Mom, now feeling well, walks in. That's classic comedy, baby. She immediately gets shocked back into sickness at the sight of the mess. Dad and Dennis realize this calls for the big guns. They don't have a choice. They invite Softy Walter over to play housemaid and clean up the mess they made. The comic ends with Gnasher asking the reader what the heck is going on around here. I don't think at the time I understood they were doing a thing. I was getting the Beano at this stage with a spicy little minx mini, and didn't understand the mystery they were building over in Dennis's corner of the comic. Issue number 2927 though would bring the mystery to the forefront. The comic cover has the Colonel ordering Dennis to fire something red from a cannon. A little black box tells us there is a mystery because 7-year-olds are dulls and need to be constantly reminded when there's a mystery going on or we'll just forget. To be fair though, so far it's a rather good mystery for kids. They would have no idea what's going on, but the clues are all there, especially in this issue. As we turn the page, it turns out what they fired was a bucket of red paint through a window at a wall. Dad angrily shouts out the window and he is hit in the face with a bucket of black paint. We learn Dennis was tricking the Colonel, offering to help him with the 2 o'clock firing to decorate the spare room with his favourite colours. Dad is angry though because he was meant to strip the wallpaper first, and that red and black are not the colours Dad had in mind. Colonel takes command of the situation and offers to give the boy discipline he needs to strip the wall. At first things are working perfectly, but Dennis, being the little brat he is, quickly becomes annoyed. And Gnasher wraps the Colonel up in wallpaper. Angry at the indignity of it all, the Colonel starts fuming, which melts the rest of the wallpaper off. Teamwork! Dad then comes in with brand new softy wallpaper. Dennis questions what is going on and looks out the window and is shocked. He tells us he thinks he's figured out the mystery. We see Walter skipping towards the house with a suitcase. Is this the big reveal? Is Big Gun Walters moving into the Menace household? What a cliffhanger! And I think that will do for this episode, but tune in next week as we finish up the great Beano mystery of 1998. Same AshTube time, same AshTube channel. Boy, I sure did say a thing or two about a thing or two. Who knows what I might say next? Could be something good. Only one way to find out, and that's by liking and subscribing. Go on, you know you want to.